Good morning, Liberates! And good morning to all other comebacks watching from the Far You page. Welcome to another episode of Political Hard Talk. I am your alive and now the voice of the Westmoreland people. Good morning, my people. Good morning and good morning to the G6 nation. Now, I got a few things to say this morning, guys, but let me just, before I roll out the shout outs, let me just say, every morning I play the national pledge, and every morning it gives me goosebumps. I then go on to play our party anthems and kick off the show with the national anthem. Now, all of this is done, to re-engage the patriotism in our fellow Jamaicans, I want guys to be reminded of what our forefathers wrote, as it relates to the pledge. I want persons to be reminded of what our forefathers saw Jamaica, in the future as, progressing down the line and becoming something that all of us should aspire and want to see, if not for us, but for our children. Party anthems aside, and many of us, I'm sure there are comrades here, but many of us are Laborites, and, we know that it is the Labour Party that builds this country. See, so before we get into the show today, let's do the shout outs. So big up my people them over YouTube as per usual. Continue to like, share and subscribe. See? And if you are not yet following me here on TikTok, please do. See? Now let's roll out the TikTok shout outs. Now Father Blue Dark Knight, big up yourself, my boss out there, #1 gifter. And Mr. Arville Samuels in gifter #2, big up yourself. We're gonna play #2, that a Pnp number. Father Barrington Higgins, Annie Bless, and Wiley Giantly in #3, big up on yourself. Queen Boss, big up. Kevin, big up. Big up to my beautiful wife to be, 1 in a million. Good morning, baby. Christopher Cart, big up yourself. Victor Sinclair, big up. Sim Nicey, big up yourself, girl. Moderator, something is going on with the live. I'm not sure. I have lost control of the screen. I can't put it back to the regular screen for some reason. Sexy Gigi, big up yourself. There's somebody called Hi, big up yourself, Hi. Dave Diamond, big up. Kayan Reed, big up. Moses Betty, big up. Kadian, big up. Carlos Mahoney, big up. Amy, good morning, girl. And Jamaica Kingston 76, big up. There is 99 others watching from the Far You page. See? Anybody that have not heard your name, you're not yet popping up in the watch list. See? So it's either your thing is on private, or I don't know, big up yourself. Now, Jamaica is set to come in well under 1,000 murders this year. We talk about crime and criminality. I, for one, I am very proud, that it is our government that was was able to, you know, foster the change, you know, to make it a safer Jamaica for us and our children. The PNP had ample time. They had 19 consecutive years. They chose not to uplift the lives of the Jamaican people. As a matter of fact, in recent months, you would have seen Mark Golding lying. Mark Golding, who has a security team with him 24/7 and has a driver. Mark Golding said he was driving and parked up to buy chicken and was given a ticket. You know, it was proven then that Mark Golding had lied. You know, Mark Golding has been lied to the Jamaican people forever. No, Prime Minister Andrew Holness, you know, would have seen him doing these little series, you know, where we go out and he talks to the police commanders in whichever policing division. Now I'm here to give you some statistics. As you know, April just finished. We're moving into May now, and I want to give you guys the statistics for the last 4 months. I am very proud to call myself a labor rights. Many labor rights should be proud to call themselves a labor right. It is our government that it has been proven time and time again that it is our government that builds this nation, regardless of what any PNP wants to say. All of them PNP, they want to see vice of the nation, coal. All of them, they are a set of petulant dunce. See, and they do not mean Jamaica any good. They do not mean their children any good. And I believe, I don't know my hardline already, I believe that especially persons like Vice of the Nation, who says he's speaking for the nation, he doesn't even reside like myself reside in Jamaica. However, I don't know how frequent he goes home. I am frequently home. So you have to say, me live in Jamaica, me live in England. See? So I know what is going on. Right? But I am on the right side of history, my people. Jamaica is doing tremendously well economically. Jamaica is doing well in a lot of sectors. And, you know, months ago, years ago, the PNP would have come out, they would have said the Prime Minister, no crime plan, no this and that. By the way, for persons who haven't seen me for a couple of days, Back the Blue Day was immensely successful. So big up Team G6 again. See? And big up to everybody that participated in Back the Blue Day. See? Even if you weren't a member of the G6, you know, and you had up the picture, as a matter of fact, if you have up the picture and you're on this life, you're a part of the G6 nation. See? So big up on yourself. We are claiming, you should be proud members of G6 nation. Now I want to big up the hierarchy, the leaders of G6. See, for conceptualizing Blue Day, and it was immensely successful. We fought a valiant campaign against Jamaica for slackness, and they had to, you guys would have seen, they had to pay people to come out and protest because we had managed to turn even our parliament blue. You know, the influence of G6 is so wide where we got our parliament to wear blue. Our Prime Minister was done in blue, and that was our idea, and we should be proud. So big up entire G6 and the G6 nation. Labour Yard, big up yourself, my boss. Anita Earlford, big up. See? Now, I am going to go into some statistics this morning, and I want to show you guys, you know, the amount of lives that have been saved by the Jamaican police or the Jamaica Constabulary Force so far this year. Now, when we look at the data, like I said, I got the stats from January 1st to April 26. Now, from 26 will come in the next week or two. See? So 27, 28, 29, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See? Big up yourself, Father Winner. See? One of the founding fathers of the G6 nation. Now I see people requesting, and as soon as I get over my monologue, I will, if you stop calling monologue, my monologue, I go start, I go up my floor. See? So let's get into the stats, guys. So I go start out with my place, which is Westmoreland, and leading up to the same period last year, seeing Westmoreland recorded 30 murders. This year, so far, we have only recorded 16 murders. That is 14 murders less. That is a 46.7 reduction in murders in Westmoreland. And this is primarily due to policing. See? The police has the criminals on the back foot. They are running. A lot of them are scared. They are turning themselves in because them sister the Jamaica Constabulary Force now ramp. Is either you meet the judge or you meet your maker. It's plain and simple as that. See? Hanover, which we know Hanover was a hot spot last year. Well, not really. And the year previous, it was a real problem in Hanover. You know, persons was leaving, wherever them leaving, to migrate into Hanover. And they were making, you know, a mockery of the Hanoverian people. Now, Hanover last year recorded up to this time 17 murders. See? So far this year, 4 months into the year, Hanover, I am very proud of you guys. You guys have only recorded 4 murders so far. 4 months into the year, Hanover have only recorded 4 murders. That is a 76.5 reductions in murders in Hanover. See? St. James, I am very proud of St. James as well. See? St. James last year, 4 months into the year, St. James last year recorded 45 murders. See? 45 murders St. James recorded last year this time. This year, St. James have only recorded 19 murders. See? So far this year, that is a 57.8% reduction in murders in St. James. Now, Chilani and them place there's usually, you know, silent people. Them at Chilani normally live good, far as me know. You know, them place there some country place, some farming place. You know, I love the hills of Chilani. I wish me did have some money, me buy a house up there where me can go ends out sometime and just come off the grid. You see me I say, Chilani, up to this time last year recorded 9 murders. So far, Chilani recorded only 4 murders. 4 months into the year. That is a 55.6 reduction in murders in Chilani. Now, St. Anne's recorded up to this time last year 26 murders. So far this year, St. Anne's have only recorded 15 murders. That is a 42.3 reduction in murders. See? St. Mary. And I believe St. Mary is one of the places now where some special effort have to go into that, because St. Mary recorded only 7 murders up to 4 months into the year last year. And so far, they have recorded 9. So 2 more murders than last year so far in St. Mary. And they have seen a 28.2 % rise in murders in St. Mary. So St. Mary Policing Division have a bit of work to do, and to fall in line with the other policing divisions. Portland. Now we know Portland is usually the most peacefulest parish in Jamaica. Normally we don't get no problem from Portland. Last year this time Portland only recorded 3 murders up to this time last year. This year Portland have recorded 7 murders. That is 4 more murders than usual. See? Now the people of Portland and the police in Portland, they have some work to do. That is a 133.3% rise in killings in Portland. And we know Portland to be the most peaceful and most safest parish in Jamaica. So Portland need to reclaim that. The police need to big up yourself, Billy Jam. Rose McCullough, big up. See? And moderators, wanna do a job, please. See? You know, get rid of the use of them, and so them not take down the life, because them not like them and something, them not like information. They want to create mischief, propaganda, falsehood, mayhem. They don't want to talk, but we are talking truth. Places where murders are on the rise, I am calling them, and places where murders are on the decline, we are calling them. We pride ourselves in giving persons factual information. See? So Portland have seen 4 more murders this year and they experience a 133.3% rise in Portland. St. Elizabeth last year up to this time recorded 13 murders. So far, St. Elizabeth is doing a wonderful job. They have only recorded 5 murders so far, and that is a 61.5% reduction in murders in St. Elizabeth. So big up the St. Elizabeth police, them big up, you know, the people that are leading the charge up there in St. Elizabeth. See? There was a time when a lot of criminals, especially from Westmoreland, would have frequent places like St. Elizabeth, and the St. Elizabeth police started to fight back, you know, and they have gotten a handle on it up there in St. Elizabeth. So congratulations to the St. Elizabeth police and big up on yourself. See? Manchester, same period last year, Manchester recorded 12 murders. This year, so far 4 months into the year, they have only recorded 5 murders, just like St. Elizabeth. They have seen a 58.3 reduction in murders in Manchester. Clarendon, same time up to this year. See, so same time last year, 4 months into the year, Clarendon recorded 26 murders. So far, they have only recorded 14 murders. That is 12 less murders than last year. And they are seeing a 46.2% reduction in murders. Kingston Eastern. Last year, Kingston Eastern up to this time saw 18 murders. So far this year, they've only recorded 6 murders. That's 12 murders less. And they have seen a 66.7% reduction in murders. Kingston Central. Kingston Central saw 10 murders same period last year. This year, they have only seen 6 murders. 4 less, and that is a 40% reduction in Kingston Central. Kingston Western saw 16 murders last year up to this time. This year they have seen 15, so they're not doing too hot either. Big up yourself, just share for the roses. They're not doing so hot, but that is 1 less murder, so we must celebrate that. You know, and they're seeing a 6.3 reduction in murder. 6.3% reduction in murder. St. Andrew Central, same period last year, and they recorded 22 murders. This year, they have only recorded 14 murders 4 months into the year so far. And that is 8 murders less than usual. That is a 36.4% reduction in murders in St. Andrew Central. Now, when we go at St. Andrew South Police Division, you know, I want to know if you go look who is the MP for St. Andrew South and come back and tell me in the comment section. See? Now St. Andrew South have seen 31 murders last year. And this year they have seen 31 murders. Same period this year. And you know, they are not making any progress. I am sure the police needs the help of Mark Golding, who is the MP for that era, for that policing division. They need the help of Mark Golding to come in and talk to the people them. Him say him got the backing of the dance and him got the backing of the people them. So I am sure Mark Golding can go in there and broker a peace between the fighting factions so murders can come down. Or him need to allow the government to go in there with the states of emergencies and sort out the thing. Mark Golding is an enemy of the state of Jamaica and is an enemy of progress. See? So Mark Golding, your constituency and your policing era is in shambles. See? St. Andrew North saw 14 murders up to this period last year. This year they have seen only 12. That's a 14.3 reduction. See? So Mark Golding has the worst policing division in our entire Jamaica right now. Mark Golding, leader of the opposition. We want to lead this country. And if he can't lead him people them, if he can't get him people them to broker peace, how Mark Golding gonna lead Jamaica? Somebody tell me. See? Where was I? Nah, me just do not. St. Catherine North saw 23 murders up to this period last year. So far, we have only seen 15 murders. That is 8 murders less. And that is a 34.8% reduction in St. Catherine North. St. Catherine South saw 29 murders last year up to this period. And so far, they've seen 22 murders. That is 7 murders less. That is a 24.1% reduction in murders. St. Thomas is also not doing well, my people. St. Thomas saw 4 murders last year, this period. So far, they have seen 6 murders. That is 2 more than usual, and that is a 50% uptick in murders in St. Thomas. St. Thomas was normally a peaceful place as well, and we want to see it go back to there. So St. Thomas, and I believe 2 other, St. Mary and Portland. Yeah, so St. Thomas, St. Mary, Portland, and Mark Golden, St. Andrew South. So them 5 or them 4 police division there. See? Or them constituency there, them need to sort that out. Them need some work done. So total numbers of persons killed up to this period last year was 355. See? Total number of persons killed so far this year, 225. That is 130 lives saved. 130 lives saved. Now, if we only get 225 murders so far, 4 months in, let us estimate that we are going to have another 225 for the next 4 months. See? And I know major work will be put in to significantly reduce that. But let's just calculate it and say another 225 persons are going to be killed. That is 450 persons 8 months into the year. And we say after 8 months we have what? 10, 11, 12, 3 more months. Let us say another 100 persons are going to be killed. That is 550 persons are unalive. Sorry. See? So Horace Chang was right. You know, if we are making what you call, you know, projections for future, Horace Chang was right when he said Jamaica is on track to come in under 600 unalivement or unaliving this year, and it is very possible. And I hope I live to see the end of the year, so I can witness for the first time Jamaica coming well under 1,000 murders, my people. See? So we like to come, we like to go into the facts, we like to go into the information. Yes, we can come in under 600 murders this year, that night, if we are projecting. Because look, last year 355 persons died up to this period, 4 months in. We are now in the 5th month in the year. See? And 225 persons are killed so far this year for the first 4 months in a year. So let's project that another, it can be less, it can be more, but let's just project that another 225 persons will be killed up to the next 4 months. That is 8 months into the year. See? Last time I checked, 225 times 2 is 450. See? Another 3 months will be in the year to end the year in December. See? So let us say another 125 persons or another 150, let us say, will be killed. That is way under 600 murders. See? So 450, another 100, 500, I will say another 125, another 150, let us say 600. So it can be projected to be a little bit higher, and it can be projected to be a little bit lower. See? So we are projecting under 600 murders for the first time since 1980 something. Somebody, when I elder them, can give me a bit more stats as it relates to the last time Jamaica came under 600 murder. See? So we are bright people. We are trying to do the right thing. The police have the tools, they have the technology, the government continue to pump money in. The criminal is on the back foot. And we are doing very well as it relates to fighting crime. See? I don't know me already. Me, I'm a stats boss. We like factual information. We like to give people stats. And, you know, there are other stats as well when we can go, no, if you don't like. Same period last year, Westmoreland had 37 shooting incidents. They only have 16 so far this year. Hanover had 20 shooting incidents last year, same period. They only have 7 so far. St. James had 43 shooting incidents last year. They only have 25 so far. Trelawney had 6 shooting incidents last year. They only have 2 so far. St. Anne's had 14 shooting incidents last year. They have 14 this year. So they're tie. See, St. Mary had 9 shooting incidents last year. They only have 8 this year. Portland had 1 shooting incident last year. So far they have 4 this year. St. Elizabeth had 12 last year. 7 this year. Manchester have 14 last year. Them have 7 this year. So them have break even. So St. Elizabeth and Manchester break even. Clarendon had 25 shooting incidents last year. So far them only have 13. See? Kingston Eastern have had 16 shooting incidents last year. So far them only have 12 this year. Kingston Central had 8 shooting incidents last year. So far them have 4. Kingston Western had 21 last year. So far they have 13. St. Andrew Central had 12 this year. Them have 11. So them have break even too. St. Andrew South, Mark Golden's constituency, had 36 shooting incidents last year. So far, they have 38. So 2 more shooting incidents than normal. See? So Mark Golden need to get himself together, Mr. Ingram, go into the community, talk to the community leaders, them as he was purporting to do. Because if Mark Golden say more go in the community, them and give back than the power, Mr. Ingram. And look how in a film constituency stay worse in a Jamaica. And him will become leader of Jamaica. Oh no, say something mad happen. See? St. Andrew North had 24 shooting incidents last year. So far they have 23. St. Catherine North had 19 last year. So far them have 13. And St. Catherine South had 29 last year. So far them have 22. Sorry, me lose that a while ago. St. Thomas had 6 last year. And so far them have 6 this year. So them a break even as well. Now, the grand total of shooting incidents that happened last year was 352. So far, we have only had 242 shooting incidents. That is 108 less than last year. See? So that is a 30.7% reduction in shooting incidents as it relates to last year. See? But we look at persons injured statistics now. See? So, persons injured last year, stats in Westmoreland. 46 persons was injured last year in Westmoreland as it relates to, you know, crime and violence. So far, only 5 incidents of persons injured recorded. Hanover recorded 16 incidents last year. So far, only 2 recorded. St. James recorded 44 incidents of persons being injured last year. So far, 25. Trelawney recorded 2. This year, only 1. St. Anne's recorded 9. This year, 10 recorded. So St. Anne's is seeing a slight uptick. St. Mary recorded 8 incidents of persons being injured. So far, they have only recorded 3. Portland recorded 1 last year. So far, they have recorded 3. So Portland is seeing an uptick as well in persons injured last year. St. Elizabeth recorded 13 persons injured last year. So far, they recorded 6. Manchester recorded 13 also. Manchester and St. Elizabeth seems to be in a local race as it relates to crime and violence. See, so Manchester recorded 13 as well last year. So far, they have only recorded 5. Clarendon recorded 18. Clarendon, where Mr. Ingram come from, recorded 18 incidents of persons being injured last year. So far, they have only recorded 9. Kingston Eastern recorded 13 last year. They're seeing a slight uptick. They recorded 14 so far this year, so one more. Kingston Central recorded 9 so far. They recorded 4 this year. Kingston Western recorded 19 so far. They have only recorded 9 this year. St. Andrew Central recorded 13 incidents of persons being injured last year. So far, they recorded 6. St. Andrew South, Mark Golden Place again, recorded 27 incidents of persons being injured last year. So far, they have seen an uptick. They are recording 30 persons being injured. St. Andrew North recorded 21 persons being injured. So far, they recorded 13 this year. St. Catherine North recorded 16. So far, they recorded 12. St. Catherine South recorded 17. And they're breaking even again. They recorded 17 so far this year. St. Thomas recorded 5 and 3 this year. 5 last year, 3 this year. So, grand total of 300 persons being injured last year compared to 177 so far this year. That is 148 persons less being injured. See? Now we're going to go over to graping and let's see what go on. Let's see where grape them are going with. See? Marcia Monroe, big up on yourself. Westmoreland recorded 17 grapes last year. That is a lot in Westmoreland. If we ever catch you about I don't know graping down there, we'll lay up on the cloth. You know here? So all I grape of them on the top of graping now. We no can't say we never want to know. Oh, I don't know, send date in Cabra Dog at Easter. Anyway, Westmoreland recorded 17 grapes last year. Up to this period this year, they have only recorded 3 grapes so far. That is 14 less. That is a 82.4% reduction in grapes in Westmoreland. See? Hanover recorded 9 grapes last year. So far, they have only recorded 4 grapes this year. That is 5 grapes less. And that is 55.6 reduction in grapes in Hanover. St. James recorded 14 grapes. So far, they recorded 8 grapes. 6 grapes less. That is a 42.9% grape reduction in grapes in St. James. Trelawney recorded 9 grapes last year, same period. So far, they recorded 7. That is 2 less. That is a 22.2% reduction in grapes in Trelawney. St. Anne's recorded 6 grapes last year. So far, they recorded 4. That is 2 less. That is a 33.3% reduction in grapes in St. Anne. St. Mary recorded 3 grapes last year and only 1 this year. See, that is a 66.7 reduction in grapes in St. Mary. Portland had no grapes last year. So far, 3 grape gone at Portland. We don't know what going on at Portland. The man 9 ton grapes. See? That is a uptick in grapes in Portland. St. Elizabeth recorded 8 grapes last year. So far, they have only recorded 5. That is a 37.5 reduction in grapes in St. Elizabeth. Manchester recorded 5 grapes. So far this year, they've only recorded 1. That is a 80% reduction in grapes in Manchester. Clarendon, Mr. Ingram Place again, recorded 13 grapes last year. So far, they have only recorded 3 grapes. That is a 76.9% reduction in grapes. Kingston Eastern, big up on yourself. Big up on yourself, Kingston Eastern. On a recorded only 2 grapes last year. And on a record no grapes so far this year. See? So big up on yourself. That is 100% reduction in grapes in Kingston Eastern. Kingston Central recorded 4 grapes last year. So far they have only recorded 2 grapes. That is a 50% reduction in grapes in Kingston Central. Kingston Western recorded 6 grapes last year. So far they have only recorded 2 grapes. That is a 66.7 reduction in grapes in Kingston Western. St. Andrew Central. St. Andrew Central, I'm gonna harness. How do you know? Hold on. St. Andrew Central recorded 6 grapes last year. So far, they recorded 8 grapes. That is 2 more than previous. That is a 20%. Hold on. Let me see if I read. Hold on, guys. Let me see if I read. Let me say Kingston Central. What me say a while ago? I believe I St. Andrew, me say, you know. St. Andrew Central, yes. 6 grapes last year. So far, they recorded 8 grapes. That is... Hold on. Something not right. Yeah, they recorded 8 grapes last year. Sorry. And them recorded 6 this year. So 2 less. Me did I read it wrong. Sorry. That is a 20% reduction in grapes in St. Andrews Central. St. Andrews South recorded 7 grapes last year and 5 this year so far. So 2 less. That is a 28.6 reduction in grapes. St. Andrew, that is Mark Golden Place, St. Andrew South. So at least him and then and 2 grape round there. See? St. Andrew North recorded 7 grapes last year. 4 grapes so far this year. That is 3 less. That is a 42.9% reduction in grapes. St. Catherine North recorded 13 grapes last year. So far they have only recorded 8. That is a 38.5 reduction in grapes in St. Catherine North. St. Catherine South recorded 14 grapes last year. So far they have only recorded 6. So 8 less. That is a 57.1% reduction in grapes. Mighty God. St. Thomas recorded 3 grapes last year. So far, them recorded 6. That is 3 more grapes than usual St. Thomas. What do you know? Well, cut off on a tilly. That is 100% rise in grapes in St. Thomas. Now, when we look at the stats, a total of 148 grapes took place last year as opposed to 78 this year. So that is a 47.3 reduction in grapes this year. See? And don't tell me if you don't want me carry on. We can go to robbery. We can go break-ins. And then we can go in a grand total. So if you don't want we go any further and tell me what. I'm ready to open up the floor right now. Saying but the JCF is doing a brilliant job. And for Jamaica for Justice to come out swinging after the JCF because of a political agenda. I and my crew and my team, we do not take lightly to that. We're all for law and order, and I believe every single one of us Jamaicans probably can tell a story. Very few of us can talk about somebody that we don't know that has gotten killed by either gunmen or something. Every one of us are affected by gunmen in Jamaica. All of we have a relative, a cousin, a friend, somebody with gunman kill. Every one of we can attest to it. And for Jamaica for Justice, I mean Jamaica for slackness, to come out swinging off the police after the police is doing a brilliant job to clean up Jamaica. Jamaica for Justice is a piece of shit. And they need to lift up and lift a country. And they should not be given any funding to do anything. And we are calling on the UN and the EU not to fund Jamaica for Justice. Let them dissipate. Let them disappear like the phoenix in the night. We do not want to see Jamaica for Justice face anymore. The Jamaica Constabulary Force is doing a great job. They're doing wonders in Jamaica and they're cleaning up Jamaica. And we, the rightful thinking persons of Jamaica, are happy about it. We are glad. See, for Jamaica for slackness need to lift up and go away. Andrew Holness was defending Jamaica for Justice, Mr. Ingram, because he thought it was a noble organization, but it is not a noble organization. Jamaica for Slackness is a big shithouse. They are one sheet of zinc away from becoming a complete shithouse, Mr. Ingram. And the leaders of Jamaica for Slackness should be ashamed of themselves. They're a big shithouse, shit pit. Them big and stink like a shithouse. Them Paul Patmore give away Chilani. See? And I say we feel lock up Jamaica for justice. We feel lock them up for obstruction of justice. Every single one of them we feel lock them up for obstruction of justice. They are trying to disrupt the lives and disrupt the progress of this government and the lives of the Jamaican people. We are tired of living in fear. There are persons living in areas in Jamaica that are afraid, they are scared because gunman is on the rampage. And we finally have a government that is not scared to go up against them and challenge them and get rid of them. And it is our Prime Minister that tell them that if you don't surrender and give up the gun, is either you meet the judge or you meet the maker, and we back with government 1 gazillion %.